Hiya, it's time for another video. This time I'm a bit late on this, I'm about a week late. You may notice I've tried to change around, swap the room around a little bit. See who guesses what that is. Yeah, so today's a video how to use the Brahma software, the control software. And I'm going to go into depth. If you're expecting a quick video, sorry, because I'll probably forget half of it, but I'll be coming back through it. But I'm going to try and go through everything you need to know. I'm probably going to expect some things to be quite straightforward, but anyway, let's get on with this. Right, so what we're doing is, if you can see here, just this is the Brahma6. And it's really aimed at the Brahma6 or the Brahma7. Okay, but the same software will also work on the Duos. Although, to be fair, I don't know if it's actually worth the hassle, because there's only two buttons. Just press two buttons. But if you do, some people may have a good reason for doing that. Then it will work with that. Sorry. So as I said, Brahma6, 6 cameras. Brahma7, you should have all seen this. This is the 7 camera one, okay, and it will also work with the Extreme, or what it used to be called, Dolphin, and it will be called a Dolphin again when I fixed it. But anyway, and the software's been upgraded. So I've been through this once before, but it was only with the Brahma6 before, and now it supports the Duo, and now these were all the Xiaomi rigs. Nothing else. This is only for the Xiaomi, purely because they did a nice job of making this a little Linux box, these Xiaomi, so we can control them quite nicely. So yeah, so it's hence that's why it's only for that. The people have probably seen I'm doing another rig with a couple of other cameras, which it's just experimental at the moment, but this software will not work with that. Okay, so the effort's gone into Xiaomi. Right, so let's move on. Right, so let's go through the subject. So basically, what you've got is a bunch of little Xiaomi's, the green ones. There's a new black one come out, an international. Not much different as far as I can understand. So it should work okay. I am hoping, because I'm sure this is just a rumor, but someone was saying something about the fact that the software may be issues with the Chinese versions. If you got the international software, hope not. But anyway, so these are fantastic little cameras, and as I mentioned, they are also a little Linux box, and you can actually communicate with them as if they're a Linux box. They're just incredible. That's why we can do all these little tricks. So as you may be aware, John and I have been putting this software together. He has done probably a little bit more than I have. He's been writing the code. So, but this is now not to confuse with my software, which is doing stitching and all that kind of stuff. John's been doing the control, which is quite a job in itself. So let's crack on with this. So the first thing we need to do is we need to copy some software onto this camera. Now, when you get it, obviously there's nothing in the root. Some of you may be aware there's a 1600 by 12 mode. Now, this patch that I'm going to show you, we have two patches. We have one patch that just purely does that. This is different. This turns this into a Wi-Fi client. So instead of it, by default, it is actually a Wi-Fi router. The software turns it into a Wi-Fi client. Now, the work that we've done is based on work that other people have done. If you go to Dashcam, I think it's dashcam.com or .org, or search for Dashcam. The guys there are really clever, and they've done these wonderful scripts, and we kind of built on top of that, so to credit where it's due. But yeah, so we can control this. Now, I'm assuming, this is where I take it for granted. Hopefully you should already know this. So plug this into your computer. Now, what you want to do then is you will download a zip file. Okay. Now, I'm going to give the link in this video, and there's also on the sales page. I've noticed there's no link to this, because John's got his own. Now, this is, I think, subtly different to John's script, so I can only show you the one I've got. Okay. He's got his own his own tutorial on there, but this is how I do it. Okay, so bear that in mind. So I downloaded this auto. Also, I've got it on my machine anyway, but just so you can see it. So download autoexec.ash.zip. Double click on it. That's the wrong one. The one I want is, I've already got it here. So it's on my folder here. Double click on it. Xiaomi. Now, when you download the zip and you open it up, everything in here needs to go in the root of the SD card on every single one of these cameras. Okay, every single one. And I'm going to come to the settings again. I have mentioned this before, but I'm going to go for the settings again for the camera, just so everyone's aware. But let's have a look at this first. Hopefully you can see all this. So, in fact, tell you what I'll do. Can I zoom in on with this? Please say I can zoom. Oh God! I hope you can all see this. So basically, what we've got is there's an auto exec ash. You can ignore all these files. Okay, the only interesting one is this one. Now, you need to open it up with something like Notepad Plus, because that will show you everything, well, in fact, no, I haven't got it turned on. Let me. Oh God, I've got to remember which one it is now. God, this is why I said it's going to take forever, didn't I? Show symbols. Here we go. End-of-line symbols. Now, it's important because you need to see that you need to make sure it's configured correctly, because Notepad will mess these up. So don't touch this. I mean, this just works. Just drop these files on there, but I'm just going to explain what they are. So this bit at the top, this is set the resolution. If you don't want a 1600 by 1200 resolution, rub that out. These are bit rates. They're not set. Now, I tend to leave them turned off. Just leave it as default. Okay. The rest of this is to set up the scripts. Now, don't touch it. If you touch it, don't blame me because it doesn't work. Don't touch it. I'm just showing you, okay? Right, so that's that script. Now, let's go into the Wi-Fi. This is the only script you're going to want to change. And that is a wpa-supplicant.conf. Okay, so we open this up. And you can see in here, the only thing you want to change is it's got SSID. Now what you're doing is this little package of scripts is going to turn the camera into a Wi-Fi client. Okay, and what it's going to try and do is it's going to try and log into a hotspot, which I'm going to do on my mobile phone, and that hotspot I've called Brahma. That's the name of the hotspot. Okay, and you'll also notice now, which means you can mess around and change it if you want, but if you change it, it doesn't work. Again, it's up to you. And the only thing you want to change is the PSK. Now I put Brahma 99. You put what you like again, but I would just leave it as it is, and it will be fine. So they're the only settings you're going to change to run as normal. Now, let's go back. Right, everything in this folder, and I don't mean I don't mean this. I don't mean you want to copy the Xiaomi folder into it. No. They have to be in the root. Okay, the root of the SD card. It's very, very important. Now, settings for the camera. Now this is this is just do this. Okay, every single one of these cameras, you want to set to fine quality. Okay, you also want to set the resolution of the video to 1280 by 960. Now I set to NTSC, so it's 60 frames a second. You can set it to PAL if you want, but then if you're going to change that, make sure they're all the same, because if you record a load of video and you've got one at 50 frames per second and one at 60 frames a second, you won't be able to stitch it. Nothing's going to stitch it, and you've lost that footage. It's very important. So 1280 by 960, which is a 4:3 aspect ratio. I set it to NTSC. Okay, it just means it's 60 frames a second. I also set it to fine. I also set my photo to be maximum 16 megapixel. Now that's good for really high. This thing can take photos at 13,600 by 6,700, and they are amazing, and they stitch beautifully. You know, that's something different. Right. Also, you'll find it. You also need to make sure. And this is very important when you're going down the settings. You need to make sure the Wi-Fi is turned on from start. Okay, that's very important. So those are the main set. If I forget anything, I will put a note on this video, just to back me up. I think that's everything. So it's the 1280 60 frames per second. All of them set the same. Wi-Fi turned on. The other thing you do is there's a setting for start mode. It will start automatically. I set mine to start automatically when you press the button straight into video. Otherwise you've got to switch them all in from photo into video. It's a bit of a pain. Now obviously you're going to use the software. Now that's if you're not using software. If you're using software, you've got a button for both, so it actually doesn't really matter. But I set mine because I don't take many pictures with this. So that's that setup. Now another point I should mention this because I've kind of done it wrong way. Don't put these scripts in the SD card until you've changed all the settings, okay? Because it will be in client mode, you won't be able to connect it to your phone, you won't be able to control and change the settings. It's a pain in the neck. But what I tend to do is every single folder, I create a folder called backup, because every now and then you might want to change something. So I create backup, and then I drop all of these files. Yeah, I just drop them on every camera. I drop them into the backup folder, and then it's back into Wi-Fi router mode, so you can connect to your phone. Obviously, you can only do it one at a time. Okay, but I'm assuming you know how to do that. That's not what this video is about. And then do all the changes, and then take them out of backup and put them in root again on every single one. Now, what that then gives you. Now these have already been set up. Okay, so I'm going to now. In fact, I tell you what we'll do is let me just switch camera. Now we know all about this. Okay, so we can go in. Remember, all in the root drawer, and I'm going to switch camera. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to show you on my my app. Yeah, well this is the way I do it. Okay, I used to use a thing called Foxfire. I don't use it anymore. If you're wondering, I like old computers as well as doing new stuff, VR, all that. I love old computers, and that one's my favourite. Another clue. Right, so I'm going to show you how this works now. So what I want to do is, in fact, I'll tell you what. Let's turn them on first because they take a little while to start up. So we just go around and we turn them all on. Because as I said, they do take a little while. And this is where it's very important. You need the Wi-Fi to start first, because what happens is if it doesn't start straight away, the script can't recognise. Too late then, because the script will go. It is actually important that you have it on, and you'll see in a second. Shall I turn this around a bit? Can you see that? Right. You will see soonish that these will start flashing. That's the idea. Right, can you see them all flashing? They all came on, obviously, but they're flashing now. Right, so that's they should all be pretty much starting. Now, they're making all kinds of noises, but then in a second there'll be a really loud noise, and that's the bit where it's starting to connect. So I'm going to now switch over to my software, or to this camera in front of me, actually. My software. Okay. Give it time. Yeah, it's the other thing. This, if you're just going out for quickly to do this, you know, this is it can take a little while. It's a bit of a few seconds wait. Come on. Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn. It could actually be waiting. Right. Let me go back to here. So I've got now. This is Android 5. So I'm using quite an up-to-date version of Android. It's on a Note 4, but you don't have to run it on a Note 4. Okay. Yeah, it's still sitting there. Right, now what I'm going to do now is I am going to go to Settings, and then I'm going to click on the Tethering and Mobile Hotspot. Okay. And I'm going to turn on my hotspot. Now, do you notice it says Brahma? And if I clicked on that, it would change it. I've got the password in there. Let's turn this on. You can turn on, it will turn off Wi-Fi, obviously. Don't want Wi-Fi, do we? Okay. Now we're going to sit and wait for this. That should actually be beeping by now. Oh no, there you go. It was waiting. It was actually waiting for me to turn on the Wi-Fi hotspot. So basically what they're saying is they're now connected now. Can you see these cameras have appeared? Okay. So I've got camera 1, camera 2, camera 3, camera 6, camera 4, camera 5. Now more importantly, can you see it's got a bunch? Now your IP addresses may be different. Now I haven't set these. I've set these to automatically. If you leave my settings alone, because people say, well, what IP should I set? No, don't. It's just auto config. Okay, so just leave it as it is. Stick them in there, and it'll come up. Now they always come up the same. Once it's set themselves, it always remembers, and they're always the same. So you've got these numbers. In fact, I'll tell you what, because it's been a while since I've written this down, I might write these numbers down. Let's open this up again. Okay, I'm just going to write these now. These are my IP, and this is important because you're going to need this. So if you see, I've got IP 111, IP 198, and then these numbers are important. You only do this once. It's 157, 155, 215, and there's one more. 222. Missed it. Right. Now they're the IPs of the camera. Okay, that's important. Now you can tell they're all connected, they're all ready to go. So, because people ask me about that. Right, so next thing, I'm going to go back home. Okay. Okay, so let's have a look at the app now. So if I open up the app. Okay, so alpha build. Yeah, so we want to be aware if anything goes wrong. In these early stages. So we've got here now, I'd already shown you the changing the Brahma6 downwards, so I'm now going to set up this for the 6, and all I do is I enter in these IP addresses that I've got written down, and again I could just swap screen actually, but I'm not going to. 43, because if you remember rightly I wrote them all down, which makes a lot of sense, and as I was saying, they don't change. Okay, they do on mine anyway. I've just taken it for granted they stay the same IP addresses every time it logs in. Pretty annoying if it didn't, to be fair. But I haven't had any problems like that. So, any problems? Just get in touch with John, or if you can't get hold of John, get hold of me. 215. 43.222 close. There we go. Right, so now they're connected, so just press connect. Can you see this? I hope you could see that a minute ago actually. Connect rig. There we go. So now you can see it's connecting. Connecting. Oh, please don't say one's turned itself off. Hang on a second. Let's try that one again. So if it doesn't, they don't work. Let's just try pressing. Connecting. Oh, John. It's connecting. Is one of them? Is any of them locked up? No, they're all on. Great. Let's go back. Right. 43.111. 43.198. 43.157. Oh look, there's no idiot. I was blaming John. Okay, next. 215. Close. We'll try it again, shall we? Connect. Ah, it's probably not happy now because I've done that. It's always the way, isn't it? 192.168, 43.111, 43.198, 43.157, 43.155. This is obviously really important you get this right. Okay, so that's spot on. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this and I'm going to reopen it so it reconnects. Okay, sorry about this, but this is what happens when you when you're doing these live. Right. Now let's just double check, make sure they're all in there. Yes, 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 yes. Stop doing that. Let's try again. Connect. There you go. Okay, right. So finally got there. So now you can see they're all connected. Oh, I need to actually fix that bug. So so you can see the record button in the middle. So it's at the moment it's set. As you can see in the top here, it's set for video. Now, if I switch cameras, okay. Now, I wonder if I should bring this any closer. Actually, I'll tell you what I'll do is I'm going to actually bring this a bit closer because then you can actually see this. Right, let's put this here. All right, put that there, and switch cameras back. You can see I'm so professional. Okay. Right, so we've got the software here, and we've got the cameras there. All right. Here we go. So we can see a few cameras at the same time. So there's all my Xiaomi's, and I've got it on. Now what I want to do is I actually want it to start recording. So all I do is I press the record button, and can you see them all flashing? Yeah. Now, did you hear that beep? Once it started, after about a second or 2 seconds, it makes a short beep, and what that beeps for is so that the sync, so you can check the sync against that. I would still do the. Some people like to do the thing, and maybe I like to do a clap, but that sync does help. Okay, so that's recording, and now if I press stop, yeah, all turned off. Okay, now if I switch this into camera mode. Okay, now you see it's changed to capture. Press capture. Yeah, see that? Press it again. See, they all take a picture. That's it. I mean, it's, you know, it's not rocket science. It's pretty cool. Now there is one more function. If you see the bottom, there's a preview. Now I don't think this worked. Well, it used to work. We are in a problem. In that well. What we try to do is create a preview. Let's see if this works. This might not work, but I have shown it working before, so it does quite work. What it's doing is every single camera is taking a picture, but because the smallest resolution for the camera is like 2 megapixels, there's huge great images. So all these images are being sent over the Wi-Fi, and it takes a while. Now what we're hoping to try and talk them into doing, if we're very, very nice and ask very, very nicely, can we have a 640 mode, 640/480 mode, like a low resolution mode? Which, oh, here they come. So, which will then send the images down, okay, as a preview. Now, this is taking forever, so it's not really that usable. But if we get this low resolution mode, you can see that, you know, obviously now this, if this can update once a second, then what you've got here is a very nice little system. Now, I see this not so much as walking down the street, think, oh, I'll take a picture, turn it all on, switch it on. It'd be quicker just to press all the buttons, all right? Let's be honest about that. But in a studio setting, or where you want to just, or somewhere where you want to start, stop, and have it set up and just control it by your phone, it's perfect. This is what it's really meant for. Now, you can see I've got the images. Now, what we can do is we can actually move them around as well. So if I can, do you see how they're just moving around and swapping around, etc. Now, we also have this. Now, this might break. Okay, this kind of works sometimes, doesn't others. If I press a VR display, yes, it works, right. Except the cameras are all over the place. But can you see here, and if I go round, can you see, it's actually quite tricky to show you actually, right? But basically what's happened is they've been all been put round 6 sides in a VR view, yeah? So, is I can go back? Yeah, look at that. So we've got the potential there. Now, it's not much use without the 640/480 mode. We do need that mode, pretty please. Can we have that if anyone's listening from Xiaomi? So it would be really nice if we had that mode. But then this would be, if this was updating once a second. Now I see this being really useful because if you click on it, I think, is it double click? Jesus, come on! I always forget which way round it goes, but I think it's double click. There you go. See, a 5 megabit preview. Yeah, huge. But we have actually got this upside down. Obviously, you can actually turn it around. Actually, the button does actually turn around. If we had that, so if I want to turn it around, I think the turnaround works. I'm pretty sure it does work. Yeah, here you go. See, look, it's actually turning it around. Okay, And if I double click now, I mean, figures, but you get the point, right? So it's there. This is potential, but for now, the most important thing is it will start, it will stop. And if I go back to my preview, if I want to capture a picture, press a button. Yeah. If I want to take a video, switch it back to video. Turn these around so you can see them. Press record. See them they all start flashing. Wait for the beep. Beep. See. And you can see it's even got a countdown on it. Okay, so hopefully that's helped you. If you're let's go back to this camera. Hopefully that's helped you. Oh, for people keep saying to me, "Can I have this rig, please?" No, no. This was an experiment. It didn't work out too well. In fact, this is the thing I did my live stitching thing with. And I still use it testing for that, as you find out. But no, you can't have this. And anyway, it's 200 quid for the rig. You don't want to pay that. And everything's gone on to Xiaomi's. Okay. Except obviously, if we end up going with these are really nice. But I'll cover that in another story. Anyway, hopefully that was useful. If there's any good points, then just leave messages. Any bad points, I'm someone else. Just send it to Linus or something. That's it really. Thanks very much, and speak to you soon.